Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
He's the political version of Eminem. You don't go after him because he's gonna give you a diss that you ain't gonna like carrying around for a hot minute, you know?
The show is about to begin.
This is a bunch of bullshit.
The bar is open. So basically, this is this the beginning of the next Civil War?
Well, here's something to contemplate. You know, months ago, we were talking about how we thought the country was on the brink of civil war, and I mentioned that I talked to Sarge, and I told him, like, you know, I think that the election is going to be a big day because I think a lot of history is going to be made that day. And he said, "You talking about a civil war breaking out?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "It will start before. I assure you."
You think so?
He's pretty much called this. I mean, he's like he's got a crystal ball, man. A lot of stuff, the majority of stuff he has predicted has come to fruition.
Oh, he's called it step by step thus far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's batting 1,000.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's like I keep saying, what's going on, what was going on, and it continues to extent go on in these cities. I think that's just a scrimmage, dude. It's a scrimmage. It's just a reconnaissance mission.
Get your gun, Mabel, and don't shoot through the damn window. I mean, that's what it's going to be.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, you've already seen Antifa and how they spread word to their members and stuff, and they were instructing them to go to the residential areas, get out of the cities, go to the residential areas.
Yeah, man, dude, they were going from house to house, or actually apartment building to apartment building downtown Manhattan. That yeah. Dude. What kind of crap head? Well, first off, hang on. Welcome to the Titty and Shiner Show. My name is Big Titty. This is episode 86. We've already started talking. It doesn't matter because we're still just bottled up with a gut full of holy shit, what's going to happen next that we need to talk about. And you can't do that in 1 hour, in 1 week. So we're back again. Like I said, my name is Big Titty.
About this.
What's that?
I said there's a lot to be said about this, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you guys don't know, my name is Shiner. This was the worst intro we've ever done.
I thought it was kind of cool. We were just talking, and I was like, well, shit, I forgot to do it. Where's Donnie? See, that's the thing. Donnie's not here. He can't work every day, so I get it. And you and
That's true.
You and I, it wasn't 45 minutes ago. Hey, you want to roll on a podcast?
Yeah. We've been talking about all this stuff that we could have got to last night. We could have said, we could have got to, blah, blah, blah. And earlier today, we're like, okay, let's drop another one. And we'll just fly by the seat of our pants. We'll pull it off whenever we got time. And so I text Titty, was like, you want to go tonight or tomorrow? And he's like, we can go tonight. And he texts me and goes, we can go right now. Yeah. 10 minutes later, bam, here we go.
Yeah, just a quick short drive to the studio. And then last night, I was here at the studio with Donnie till, it was a little bit after 11 when we bugged out.
You guys got into some conversations after we recorded that last night?
We did. And it's not like we just came to complete agreement on everything, because everybody out there, if you haven't figured it out by now, Donnie is more of a centralist on the liberal side. And Shiner and I used to call ourselves centralists on the conservative side, but I think it's gotten to the point now where we're just conservative. So
I lean kind of far on that spectrum too. Like, I've been shoved way over there. You know?
And the funny part is it's been the liberals who have shoved me even further to the right. Just ridiculous. You're very much right about that. I have watched more of what they do and they try to do, and it just keeps making me gravitate farther and farther right. I don't know, man. I personally think I'm dropping F-bombs this episode, and I don't care. Donnie's not here to fix them. I don't want to go back through it, so I don't give a fuck. Anyways, I think I completely forgot what we were talking about.
When we started the show, we were touching on all the chaos that is still continuing to go on in the country and some of the stuff about Antifa. And
yeah,
but I mean, you guys, if you haven't listened to the episode previous to this one, stop right now, go back and listen to that. That was part one. We'll basically call this part two. And we're going to continue to discuss some of the things going on in the nation right now because we still have a shit ton to say about it.
And I want to know what you guys thought about the name of podcast number 85. I don't know if anybody looked at it or really gave a shit, but the name itself is kind of controversial when it comes to looking at what you would think Shiner and I would make a call on. But I meant it. I mean, protesters, looters, and Antifa have nothing in common.
No.
Nothing.
No.
And unfortunately, and I said this to Donnie last night, unfortunately, I think it took this incident, this episode, maybe to open my eyes a little bit more on that fact, because beforehand, I thought the demonstrators would, they done demonstrated in the street, and as they're walking home, they're trashing people's businesses and setting shit on fire, and now I'm sure some of them did, but the major crux of who does all that damage are people that don't even live there. And now that go ahead.
When you and I were discussing this on the phone this morning, that kind of shocked me. When you said that you weren't aware of this, that kind of shocked me. But I started thinking about it after we hung up. I don't think, it wasn't going on to any kind of degree like it is today when they had the LA riots back in 92. I don't think that was going on. If it was very, very rare. But now we're to a point that, with Antifa trying to do what they do and they showing up to every demonstration that they get wind of, that changed the ballgame. The way they do business changed the environment of what a quote unquote riot is.
Yeah.
In a situation like this, their presence took this to a whole nother level.
It did. And maybe just the uncivility of the grossness of those actions, if that makes sense. Maybe open my eyes even more. Like, why? First I'm like, why are you guys screwing up your own neighborhoods, for crying out loud? What's the deal? Well, they're not. The vast majority of them aren't. It's other people coming in. That's just it. Never dawned on me.
Yeah, I think, like I told you today when we were talking, I think after 92 and LA burnt, portions of LA pretty much burnt to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think the black community realized, if we're this mad, the worst thing we can do is tear our own shit up. I'm like you. I don't think the vast majority of people that are creating all this anarchy live in those places. I mean, I sent you a video where the Crips were running Antifa members off.
I saw that. That was awesome. As much
Long
as
Beach, California, the Crips ran them smooth out of there.
As much as I don't like gangs, in certain places, I'm not saying that it's a necessity, but in certain places, it's more home than home.
Yeah, it's existed for generations, and it's gonna continue to do so.
Well, I mean, and in prisons, it's you got somebody's got to be the inner boss, and
I mean that's how humans operate.
Yeah, you got to have a king and a queen. Well, there's no queens at a male prison. Well, there are queens in a male prison, but I digress. Everything has its hierarchy, and Antifa even has its own internal structure. They say they don't, but you can't. You can't be this organized.
They're very organized.
Yeah.
There's more than one guy, but I ran across a video today from a guy that went inside with them. For some reason, it seems like people that infiltrate him always go for 18 months. But this was another guy. He got inside with him and gathered intel on him and evidence on him for the government for 18 months. And he had hidden video, had a hidden camera that he took into these meetings. And to hear them instruct people on how, best thing you can do is, gouge somebody's eyes. And it doesn't matter if it's an old person, you gouge the eyes and this. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And then they start, you see there's meetings that they list out like the kit they take to every demonstration with all the weapons that they take with them. And these people got access to explosives and everything else. Like, this is a very dangerous organization. And people have this view of them in their head that, it's just a bunch of dumb teenage kids, trying to fight over, fight the government, fight the man. No, they're literally trying to overthrow the government. and they're far more than just a bunch of teenagers. Like, these are very dangerous people.
And I went into the definition of a fascist last night, and it is funny. And again, we talked about this on the phone too. It's funny how everything has literally flip flop. Okay, let's go back to 18, and you got this Civil War junk, that's going on, whatever. I think it's 1860. I might be wrong on the year. Just go back to that era, okay? You had the Union and you had the Confederates. Now, the Confederates wasn't something that you signed up to be. It wasn't something that you chose. It wasn't your birthright. It was literally by a line, a fake line across a lot of property that said if you're below this, you're Confederate, and if you're above it, you're Union. And
it was it was dependent on your geographical location.
Exactly. So now a lot of your and it's way before modern, but your Southern people were more Democrat, more Democrat, and your Northern people were a little more posh, a little more conservative, and it was kind of Republican territory. And what to Bo Jesus has happened? Well, the South got smart, realized, you know what, we need to start doing what they're doing up north. Saving some money, building buildings up, and making cities. It's the city concept all started up in the North and Northeast. When Atlanta was burned, marching through the Civil War, well, Atlanta really wasn't that big in the grand scheme of things like cities were up north. So once the South adopted that, I think that was when the flip-flop kind of started happening.
Well, cities up north, by that time, cities up north already had what we would term today as infrastructure.
Oh, modern plumbing, sewer.
Yeah, and the cities in the South didn't have that yet. That was the big difference.
Yeah.
And so that's when the cities in the South were like, hey, we're going to take a note from these Yankees and and started improving stuff. But yeah, that was the biggest difference between the cities.
But basically it's this, in a nutshell, kindergarten level. The poor people were Democrats and the rich people were Republicans. Now the poor people are Republicans and a lot of the rich people are Democrats. And I don't understand where that flip-flop came from or how or why. But it is what it is. And now you got this goofball, nut job, denture chewing, paper shredding idiot of a majority leader. And I'm for those of you who haven't figured out yet, I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi. And go listen to how she talks.
Oh, I know exactly how she talks, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a way better Pelosi than I do a Christopher Walken, I assure you.
On demand, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think Pelosi is going to single-handedly send the country into a civil war.
Well, she's got a lot of people help. I don't know about single-handedly because she's got a lot of people helping her. I mean,
helping her, yes, but her position.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's a shitty person to begin with, but my God, you look at all the stuff that she's screwed up. Now, granted, all you liberals out there are going to say she hasn't screwed up. She's done the right thing. Again, libs, I have made, I'm not saying an ass ton or a crap ton or a shit ton, but I made a ton of money since Trump took office.
Just compare it to the administration before him. Yeah. I think everybody as a whole has.
Yeah, including liberals.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not like they didn't benefit from it.
There are some things that I do agree with when it comes to taxes. I think with the way the tax code is written, it'd be impossible to enforce. But if we went to a flat tax or a national sales tax on goods, that would I actually like that idea the best because you got to pay tax on everything you buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you don't buy stuff? You pay taxes, right?
Right.
So I'm going to grow tomatoes and peppers. I'm gonna go trade.
Text.